passes. Okay, appropriation ordinance number 1055-10-18A. Kinda got writer's cramp this afternoon from signing these.
Maybe a question for Tim. And I know you won't be able to tell me this right now, but futuristically, being the co-op changed their names, it kind of stuck out to me real quick, and I was looking. It just seemed like there was a lot of fuel put in areas that I didn't think should be using a lot of fuel. And I know some of it is split out and prorated for usage in areas, but I assume all the fuel is pretty well.
Fuel's being coded appropriately.
Okay, that's-
You're probably seeing more fuel usage because of the projects that we're doing right now.
Okay. Okay,
But every receipt that comes in for fuel is being coded in the amount and designation it belongs.
good, all right. That was more my question than anything, thank you.
That brings up the question on the fire department, they need a receipt every time they get fuel, for each truck and the truck number, is that
We
correct?
spoke with Clancy last week, and they are going to start providing a receipt for every truck every time they fill up, so it's a little easier for us to maintain that.
We might need to make sure next meeting that they know how to get a receipt and everything other
I
than
believe that's on Monday. That's agenda with
that.
Clancy.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I'd so move to approve appropriation ordinance 1055-10-18A.
Motion made, have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Terry?
I don't have anything.
All right. Mr. James?
I don't have anything.
Pete is absent. Brett Miles?
Okay, I got a few things. Kyle Unruh with Corn Main will be here next meeting to visit about the AMI water meters. So if you haven't had a chance to look at the proposal that was handed out last meeting, please do. And if you have any questions or can think of any questions, please write them down so we can get them answered by Kyle next meeting. Health insurance. Blue Cross Blue Shield is curious of what direction we want to head for next year's health insurance. My recommendation is that we leave it the same.
Look at that, or?
I don't think we want to this year, do we? Man,
When's it due?
well,
When's the enrollment period?
probably gonna be the 1st of November, I would say.
Yeah, because time-wise, we'd be running out of
Yeah, we
time.
were getting pretty tight.
Okay.
Of course, right now, everyone knows it's, singles $11 for the employee per pay period, and family is $18.70. And we have $500 deductible and $1,000 deductible. So, like I say, my recommendation is that we leave it the same. Of course, we'll have an increase, we won't know that till probably the 1st of November.
Well, one thing I was reading said that there would be only about was it a 2% increase? Wasn't that what I was
I
reading?
don't know, she's supposed to come back, I thought.
She'll come back. She just wants to know what direction we're headed so she can get
Okay.
everything prepared.
Okay.
Is that,
Do we have
and then we'll vote on it once she
Right,
comes back.
we have consensus then?
Yeah.
To proceed
Okay.
Yeah.
as we did last year? Okay.
Okay.
Do you want me, are you in contact her?
Would you please contact her?
I'll contact her, okay.
Assistant, city clerk. Everybody have the requirement, or the job description?
Fit in our
Did you
packet.
hand them out, Lynn?
No, I thought we were gonna do that in executive.
We can't, but we're gonna have to come back out anyway, so
Yeah, I'll pass them out.
just wanna look at, just take a look at that and we'll talk about it later. And I think that is it, Lance.
Okay. Lynette?
Nothing at this time.
Michael? Okay. In your packet, I did make one change on the community development director. I want to make some clarification on what this role is, because there seems to be some confusion that this is a duplication of what PCED is doing, and that couldn't be further from the truth. The main purpose of this job is to take the EDAB 2030 vision, okay, and basically help implement it. And playing a lead role in communications and fundraising. They will work with PCED in obtaining funds where they can help us out. But as far as the grant writing and some of the grant writing that we can do, we'll do our own grant writing like we do on most of our projects. And then communications, I mean, there's a whole thing on a vision and an update of where you're at with the community and keeping the momentum going and keeping it out in front of the community where we're headed. That's what this role will do. And the other big role for this person is to be the main contact with the council and economic development board when things come to the city that they need Tim's help on, as far as, you know, how do we zone things and all that kind of stuff. So there'll be a conduit for that as well. So it's, I don't want to get into it, I don't want to even talk about it. I mean, I just want to clarify what this role is, and probably won't ask for approval till after the first of the year. But I want you to be aware that what this role is. I put a lot of that other stuff around economic development in there because if we have them do something, I want to make sure they don't come back to us and say, well, it wasn't in my job description. So that's why a lot of those things are in there. I tried to be as inclusive as I could, but the main purpose of those first two bullet points, when it's oversee the implementation of the 2030, we've got a lot of project teams out there. They'll help coordinate with those and be a resource to those project teams as well. Any questions on that? Okay. The other thing is the internship. Brenda met with Morris on Friday morning, and I met with him on Thursday before he went on the Tadpole Show, talking about this project a little bit. And I think we're wanting to go try to do a couple of these. Okay, I wanted one to work on the kind of taking the park and redesigning it for the future with the baseball field removed, and what would it look like with possibly an amphitheater in there and landscaping and a water park, I mean not a water park, a splash park or something like that. Just redesigning it, what would it look like, as well as there's a lot of trail work another intern could work on, as well as designing our trail system around the town, as well as they're starting in the park area, and this person could work on that as well.
Remind me what the cost, is this the one that was $500?
This is, no, at Fort Hays State was the $500 one. This one is, I think, if I remember right, we just have to supply
Housing. Right?
housing for them and supplies and a place to work from.
Right, okay.
So the timeline is the end of this month to apply for them. So I'd like to ask for permission to apply for 2.
I'll make a motion that we allow the mayor to try and get 2 interns.
Will both be off the J&G Hanson?
Yep,
I'd second that.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. And then Arbor Day is going to be on October 29th. There'll be a proclamation out on it. We'll be planting a tree on
It's at South Fifth and Fisher Drive.
Yeah. We're replacing a tree that died,
Okay.
so. If you have time, come on out. I think it's at 10 o'clock, isn't it? Get your picture taken with the tree. That's all I had. Scott?
I don't have anything to report on this
Okay.
evening.
Thank you. Tim?
A couple items, excuse me. The Governor's Water Conference is November 12th through the 14th. I have been selected by the Governor's Water Board to attend that. They are paying for my registration. All that we are going to be up for will be the lodging and the travel there.
Where's that at, Tim?
Manhattan.
How long is it?
It is 3 days, well, it's 2 days, and then I have a meeting that night. So, civilian supervisor training for all of our employees will be November 5th and 6th, and November 15 through 16. Each employee that supervises inmates are required a 2-day course every year, so we'll be breaking employees up to do that. The first section is in Stockton, the second group will be in Norton. So we'll try to break them up where everybody can get to that, so we're all certified again.
How many prisoners we got?
Currently, we're at 4.
Is that pretty consistent, or?
Our numbers have been down a little bit due to, excuse me, the private industry is taking up a lot more of the inmates than what it used to be, so they're running low on numbers. So, we've been fortunate enough to stay around 4. We haven't been able to get back up to our 5. Hopefully, maybe before the first year, we're back up to 5.
Good.
So far, so good. Give you an update on the water line projects. The water line project over 7th Street, we have 3 meters left to set, and that project will be complete, minus just the grading and final touch-up work. But pressures have been increased, and people are extremely happy with what they have, so it's a good bonus. Southwest 2nd, we've got everything southwest of Sunrise in the ground. So they're working their way across the intersection. They'll tie in there by Yoxels, and we'll be ready to start setting all the services. So that one's a little slow going. There's just driveway after driveway after driveway, so it's a little slow plowing, but they're still on schedule to be completed on time. So the one on 7th Street was completed about a week ahead of time is what we got scheduled. So both projects going well. This last week, we got all the facilities winterized. All the parks have been winterized. Everything's ready to go for the winter. The only thing that's not winterized at this point is the campground, and we usually try to, if all possible, leave that open until the pheasant season gets here. Plus, we have some contractors staying up there, so we try to leave it open as much as possible until it's just no longer feasible. This morning, we went and got a planer for the front of the Bobcat. We will be doing some patching this week on State Street and some of the other areas around town that we've identified. We'll be buying hot mix from Venture out west here and getting those areas patched so that they make it through the winter.
Is that what you got marked on?
State Street's just not gonna last until the concrete pavement gets here. We had hoped it would, but it's just not going to, and it won't make it through the winter, so we might as well get it while we have a hot mix plant here.
Yep.
Quan's Reservoir, the consent order has been completed and finalized out. We received our copy of it last week, I believe it was. So, Aquatic Center, we have located the leak, and crews will be working on it this week to start digging and repairing.
Where and
Much
what?
concrete.
It's right underneath the concrete. It's not underneath the concrete of the pool, but it's underneath the sidewalk area.
Well, that's all right.
What appears to happen is right on the outside edge of the pump house. When you build that, you stub a piece of pipe through the wall, and then you come back and attach both sides. It appears either one pipe was a little bit short, or the earth has moved a little bit, and it's supposed to fit in there, and it's got a 2.5 inch bell that goes in there. Well, it's about 3 inches outside of it. So something has caused that pipe to fail in that joint, so we'll go ahead and go in there and replace that. We did air test it, and it did prove to be the leak, so we're very confident that that leak is present.
Good.
So, airport, we had a pre-design meeting for the access road project. This is a project that is being submitted for 100% funding by FAA. It'll be one of probably 300 projects submitted for our district to see whether we get picked. So we'll just have to wait and see whether it gets picked up by FAA. We also will be entering into an agreement with Olson's on, they were the only ones that submitted for airport design as of, when we put it out for our new RFPs. So we'll be entering in that agreement with them. As I told you before, I will be gone the 17th through the 19th. I will be out of town. I will have my cell phone and computer if something comes up that we need, so I am accessible. And Planning Commission will not meet this month. And that is all I have for you, unless you have some questions for me.
I do have one, Tim. You answered one about the school. Do we have anything scheduled, any more water projects, replacement?
Yes, we have one more project
Okay.
scheduled for, it goes east of Park Street. It'll tie in the locker plant and Winchell's and get rid of that line on 10th,
Okay.
by 10th Street that is
Okay.
a continuous
Very good.
leaker.
How long is that supposed to last? Till
The
Thanksgiving?
second project should be roughly around Thanksgiving time,
Okay,
if weather cooperates.
yep. Early winter. Okay, you've got revenue, expenditure, cash balance reports in your packet. We might glance over those. If you have questions, let me know. I'm gonna take a look at these in depth as far as making sure that, from a revenue perspective, that we're handling the expenditures in each of our revenue departments. And then, kind of look at it in light of the 0.5% sales tax that was passed and see how we're looking for next year. And also what impact it might have on rates, whether we need to go up and down on some of these. So I know we've taken our revenue was way high on the solid waste, so we've given quite a bit of that back. So I want to make sure what the other ones are looking like as well.
Well, water with Quans, we're probably gonna have to do something there anyway, aren't
On the,
we? On water, because of Quans.
yeah, we have to, we're mandated by KDHE to go up so much.
When we get approval by either the SRF or our CBG, it will be more than likely appropriate for you to make some type of rate adjustment.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They say we're pretty good though, where
Really?
we're at. So I don't think it'll have to be significant.
Oh, that's good.
Isn't that the case?
Yes, sir.
And we won't go if we don't have to.
That's even better.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions on the reports?
I move the city council recess in executive session to discuss an individual employee's performance pursuant to the non-elected personnel matter exemption KSA 754319B1 with the council and the attorney for
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
So come back at 6:35. 6:36.